Hey, and welcome, or shall I say welcome back to my channel. As promised, I will talk about some changes and maybe final changes I made to my TREK Marlin 6 WSD women's model. Well, it was a TREK Marlin 6, I would say, because apart from the frame there are now no original parts left on the spike. Everything has been switched and modified to my liking. And in this video I will focus on the things I didn't do during my last upgrades, so my final upgrades in this current state. We start with the cockpit. So as you can see, I installed a Raceface Next riser bar. This is a 35mm with a 760 width. And for grips, I'm running AMS, berm, camo, blue. I love these. These are very, very soft. Then I changed the headset, as you can see, so it can accommodate a tapered fork, or this is a Promend headset. I'm gonna put the spec in the comment section, the full spec of the spike, so you can find these parts yourself on the internet. So this is a Promend headset, which makes it possible to use tapered forks. The fork I choose to run on this bike now is a Rockshox Revelation Debon at 140mm, and these have 35mm extensions, so they're fabulous if you want to ride a little bit harder or do some jumps. As this fork is naturally a boost fork, you would have to think about buying a new front wheel. But as we're talking budget upgrades, I bought a Sunringle Duroc 30 front wheel. This has boost, and it came tubeless ready from a company called Cassette at around €100, and it's great. Furthermore, when you look at the front, you can see that I'm running a mud hugger now, just because it looks a little bit nicer. Back to the cockpit up here. I forgot to mention that I swapped the stem as well. So this is a Cube RFR ready for race, 40mm stem for 35mm bars. And I got some carbon spacers in there as well. As you can see, I didn't cut the fork down too much, just so I can make some adjustments in the future if I want to. As I purchased a new bike a few months ago, an XC bike that didn't come with a dropper, I had to take out my OneUp 150mm dropper from my hardtail here and put it into my carbon bike. But I replaced this one with a TransX 130 internal dropper, and that works just as well, so no problems with that whatsoever. I also decided to switch to an 11-speed drivetrain. I mean, I didn't change the crankset, or I kept my OneUp oval chainring as well. Switched to some Shimano SPD pedals though, because I like to be clipped in. And like I said, I switched out the back here and the shifter. Reason for the switch is because I want a little bit of a bigger range on the cassette, and I found a 10-speed 50-tus cassette that I had on there before a little bit jumpy. So I went for the Deore 51 11-speed cassette. This is the 5100. Unfortunately, this meant as well switching the derailleur on the back, even though the other one was okay for 11-speed cassette, but it didn't take a 51 toes. It was very tight, So I switched to the Deore 5100 rear derailleur, and this one is built to accommodate this big 51 tooth cassette. So this is the Deore 5100 setup in the back, and of course I got the shifter to go with it, the 11-speed Deore shifter. And for tires, I'm running a Vittoria Barzo, front and back now. These are 2.25, mainly because they're good in all weather conditions, and even proved to be awesome in icy and snowy conditions, which we had recently. So these are Vittoria Barzo 2.25, very, very good looking as well. And I'm not sure if I have shown us earlier to you, but I'm running Mucoff valves, front and back. Which match the color of this TREK bike quite nicely, I think. To be honest, I absolutely love this bike in the current setup. It's amazing. And quite light as well. Now I haven't checked the exact weight, but it's under 13 kilos. Yeah, maybe in the future I might decide to run some bigger tires or something. Like I said, this Revelation fork, I think it can accommodate 2.8 even. I'm not 100% certain, but at least 2.7. And by the measurements on the back of the Marlin, 2.5 will be fine. I had a 2.4 on there before and still had plenty of room. So I think a 2.7, 2.5 combination would be maybe something to test. But like I said, currently I'm super happy with how this performs now, this bike. Really, really nice. Yeah, and you might wonder how this bike climbs, and I feel it climbs beautifully. I think it's due to the offset of this fork. It only has it has a 42mm offset. Most of the bigger Rockshox forks they have a 44, and I tested a Rockshox 35 silver here before, and it didn't climb as well as this one. So I think the offset really does something when it comes to yeah, performance there. Some of you might maybe wonder why spend so much money on a bike for upgrading if you could just buy something with a similar spec. Well, not really. I started upgrading this bike just a month after I bought it, and like I said, I started with the drivetrain bit by bit, took off the old parts and sold them and got good money for them because the parts were in good condition. And then I bought parts on sales. So look out for good prices. Don't just buy the first thing you see. And that's just about how I did it with all parts you see on this bike. Even the fork I got for, I think it was under 400 euros. Awesome. Yes. And the fork that was on the bike I sold, and the fork I had after that, the Rockshox Judy Gold, I sold and got good money for it because I bought it in a sale. And if you sell your parts in good condition, you will get good money for it. And then look out for some good deals, and you can do this upgrade on a budget. And I could never buy a bike with equal spec for what I've invested in this one. This was done very, very cheaply. And I learned how to build and fix bikes in this process. My friend recently acquired a second-hand Marlin 5, and I am upgrading this one right now. So there will be some videos about it soon, I promise, what I've done to his Marlin. So happy you're all tuned in, and thank you for watching. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There will be more good content soon, I promise. And like I said, I will make some videos about my buddy's TREK Marlin 5 very soon.